nothing here. And come running to the sea. 'Cause I'm nothing. The sun comes every night.
Hi, I'm Jacob Seidel, co-host of Further Review, and you're listening to the Bowling Green Radio Sports Network on Falcon Radio, 88.1 WBGU, HD2, Bowling Green, Ohio.
Community sponsorship for WBGU programming is brought to you by Grounds for Thought, a local coffee shop offering vintage books, vinyl, comics, and a selection of home-baked goods. Grounds for Thought, located at 174 South Main Street, Bowling Green, Ohio.
Hi, this is Jason Jackson, television host for the Miami Heat, Class of '94 at Bowling Green State University, and you're listening to Bowling Green Radio Sports.
Well, it's been a crazy week in NCAA basketball. We also have some free agency frenzy in the NFL as well as draft frenzy. We're going to get into that and a whole lot more on Further Review.
Why can't I hear myself? Like Adam, I can hear you full. No, because Adam is loud. Like I can't hear myself.
Because you're not on.
Yes, I am.
I'm not on. Now I am. Now, what's going on?
You're on.
What's going on?
Yeah, why can't I hear myself through the headset? Can you hear us?
No.
What? We're not in program.
Why are... I got it.
Got it.
Why weren't our mics in program? That's really weird.
We turned them off last night when we were talking in here. I don't know why Valen was on the board, so...
Okay.
All right. Now that we got that fixed.
Now I can hear myself.
Technical difficulties, folks. Welcome, boys and girls.
Hello.
I already did our intro, Jacob.
We are in... All right, this is Donovan Mann, Jacob Seidel to my left.
I'm the host here. This
Yeah.
is Donovan Mann. This is Jacob Seidel. This is the almighty Adam Gaw here with running the board.
Infamous and Twitterless Adam Gaw.
Infamous and Twitterless.
Hey, so guys,
Hi.
you know how my bracket had Ohio State winning it all?
Yeah.
Nice job.
My bracket is now better than the Further Review bracket. My bracket is at 60.4%, and the Further Review bracket's at 33.8%.
I have a second chance bracket, actually 2 second chance. 3 of them are at 85%. My Purdue winning it all is actually at 98%.
So the only 3 teams from our Final Four or Elite 8 have a chance to go, and that would be Kansas and
I had Kansas winning it all on mine.
Kansas and Purdue. And Purdue has to play Texas Tech, and that's not going to be an easy game for the Boilermakers.
It certainly is not. Let me go back. I want to see my full bracket. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and start talking about some of these games because we had a lot of craziness, a lot of madness, you could say, happening over this past week, including history being made. And the only person I know who predicted this, we've got Adam Gaw, the host today, predicted the UMBC upset over Virginia. The thing is, it wasn't just a victory for UMBC. It was a dominant victory, too.
Well, Virginia lost this game as far as I'm concerned, especially on the defensive side of the ball, defensive side of the court. They had given up, I think it was an average of 51 points per game this season. They gave up 50 in the second half alone. This team came into this game overconfident, underprepared, and that comes down to coaching, and that is Tony Bennett's job to get this team ready to play. They're playing University of Maryland, Baltimore County in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They are the number 1 seed. They are the number 1 ranked team overall in the country. They should not lose this game.
And especially not by 20.
And that's Tony Bennett's job to get this team ready to play. He didn't do it.
That's certainly...
It's not at all on the defensive side.
Yeah, it's on
Their defense got shredded in that second half. If you
and one of the top defenses in the country too. That's
the number 1 defense
thing
in the country.
And now, have you guys started following UMBC's Twitter account?
No.
It's straight fire. I'm kid you not. Like,
well,
all the haters are tweeting at them, and they quote the tweet and then say something savage back to them and shut them up. It's great.
I mean, a lot of that has to do. The thing is, they only lost by 7 to Kansas State, and they weren't in that game for a long time too. I mean, another one of those battle for hearts. I mean, Kansas State, let's talk about them. They're another team out there where they go in there with that mentality. We're not supposed to be here. They're in the Elite Eight now playing Loyola Chicago, who's not supposed to be there either, which I'd call that game one of those like battle of the hearts because
Loyola
it's just,
Chicago.
it's just two teams that really want it. They are sitting at a nation that says we aren't supposed to be here. They say, forget that. We're supposed to be here because we're a good basketball team. I mean, that is what this tournament is all about, is teams like that.
Loyola Chicago is the new national champions this year.
No.
I wouldn't go that far, but I certainly think they could, especially against Kansas State. I think they would stand a chance at making the Final Four.
Okay, then.
All right.
Also, UMBC's Twitter account got a nice little
How many
shout
followers do they have now?
out. Probably a lot more. But they got a nice little shout out from the current college football national champions, the University of Central Florida.
Yeah, I did see that. I mean, these small schools going out there making names, making waves. I mean, Virginia had a lot of people saying they should win it all. I mean, I think, what was it, over 99% picked them to win that game. And probably all the other ones were either Adam or people just saying, well, I'm just going to do an entire upset bracket.
And it's usually about this point where you get the naysay, like the people, you get the like, oh, there's like 5 perfect brackets remaining. And I don't think we had any after the first round.
After the second round.
I mean, let's just take a look at this here. All these upsets. UMBC over Virginia. Probably the biggest one. Is the biggest one
upset
in history.
in college basketball history.
No.
One of the. Definitely the biggest one.
It's the biggest upset in
No,
college
it's not.
basketball history.
Definitely the biggest one this year.
In the tournament era, it is the biggest upset
We've
in college
also
basketball
got
history.
also got Kansas, who upset Creighton. I know that's only a 9 over
Creighton.
Creighton.
Creighton, not Cretan. A Cretan's a name you call somebody.
What about Xavier?
I will fight.
And then you've got, of course, Kentucky not
Wanna go?
getting upset there until
Not really.
Kansas State upset Kentucky in a game again. Kansas State winning by 3, showing how much they want to be there in the Elite Eight. I mean, then we have Buffalo, who upset Arizona. I know you called that one there, Jacob. Buffalo fought really hard, beat their opponent by 21 points in the first round. Number 4, Arizona. And then, of course, they did lose by 20 to Kentucky in the next round. And then Loyola Chicago, who just continues to go out there and make waves. I mean, they have upset after upset after upset
At the
here.
buzzer.
At the buzzer, too. I mean, yeah, these are all close games and a lot of buzzer beaters as well. First, they had to take down number 6 Miami. Then they took down number 3 Tennessee in their region. And then they took down Nevada. Was it a buzzer beater last night?
With 30 seconds left, they hit the winning three-pointer.
To win that game, 69-68. They will be playing Kansas State in the Elite Eight and a chance to go to the Final Four. And then, of course, also Nevada, a team that had made it to the Sweet 16 just simply based off their ability to make comebacks in the first 2 rounds. First over Texas, a 14-point comeback, and then over Nevada, over Cincinnati, that was a 22-point comeback.
They had a 22-point lead.
The state of Ohio just had a very bad weekend last
Was
weekend.
this all on the same day that
So-
Cincinnati, Ohio State, and Xavier all lost?
Within the first round of the tournament, Wright State goes out.
Of course.
Where's Wright
Second,
State?
Dayton.
Dayton.
Second round,
It's named after the Wright brothers.
the next day, the first day of the second round, Ohio State goes out. The next day, Xavier and Cincinnati both below double-digit leads.
Where did Dave?
And Ohio State's, I believe Ohio State's hockey team got knocked out of the NCAA
In
women's
a-
tournament.
No, men's.
No, because the men's are in the tournament. Women's hockey already
no,
started.
the women's basketball team got knocked out.
No, they got knocked out the next day.
Oh, they lost to
To
Central
Central
Michigan
Michigan.
by like 20.
Oh, wow. In St. John Arena.
It's 2 11 seeds too. I mean, 2 11 seeds have made it that far for the first time, and they're both MAC teams too, Buffalo and Central Michigan.
This the second and third, the second time a MAC team's made it to the Sweet 16?
Yes, and this is the first time any 2 11 seeds have made it this far to the
to the
Sweet 16.
to the women's, and of course,
Yeah,
you know,
the
Bowling
women's.
Green was the first MAC team to ever make it to the Sweet 16 from the women's.
No comment. So that's your what is this? The South Division looks like this for the Elite Eight, which is tomorrow, the 24th. You've got number 9 Kansas, Loyola Chicago. Who out there drew that
Kansas
one up?
State,
What'd I say?
Kansas.
Oh, sorry, Kansas State. Kansas plays tonight for their chance at an Elite Eight spot. Who out there could have predicted that?
Me.
A 9 and an 11. Of course you would. You predict everything.
Because I predicted Virginia to get beat in the
You
first
have
game.
you have a crystal ball like the new Frappuccino at Starbucks, apparently.
I'm gonna smack you.
Mocha.
I mean, a 9 and an 11 seed. That's just crazy. I mean, usually you have that one team. We've had, I think it was 3 11 seeds in the history of the tournament era make the Big Ten, make the Final Four.
I think it was LSU in 86, George Mason in 06, and
VCU in 11.
yeah.
I fully expect Loyola Chicago to be in the Final Four.
Me too.
Oh yes,
This is definitely, I think I look at this Kansas State game with Loyola Chicago. It is definitely a battle of heart. These are two teams. They have had to face the odds. They've had to go upset after upset, beat teams that people have said they shouldn't. Who wants it more? Boys have at it. Go out there. You've already accomplished more than anybody said you would this year. Now it's time to go out there and get yourself a ticket to San Antonio. And that is tomorrow. Also take a look now at the West Division, who's got their final, their Elite Eight set up. Let's just look at some of these upsets in here, too. First, Florida State over Missouri by a 13-point. That was a 9 over an 8. But then Florida State goes out and beats Xavier, who had destroyed
Uh,
Texas Southern.
Another number 1 seed goes down to Xavier.
Yeah, there was 2 number 1 seeds lost in the first 2 rounds. And the other 2 number 1 seeds are still out there.
Xavier getting
Obviously.
beat 75-70 by Florida State.
I think you're doing that just to get on his...
I know. I am.
I know you are.
I know. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But
I don't even know what you said. Sorry, I was looking up something
he keeps
different.
saying Xavier. It says Xavier.
Oh,
And then Florida State goes out there and beats Gonzaga by 15. This is the Gonzaga team
They were beat up, though.
I know they're beat up, but they still went out there and smothered Ohio State in the second round. And the 6-point
not
score.
really smothered.
No, the 6-point score was not how close that game was. Zaga was up pretty much that entire game. Ohio State went and fought back in the second half, which is kind of what brought it this close. And then they actually took the lead back for a little bit while, but then Zaga got the lead back and ran with it. But Florida State, 15-point win. They set up their date with Michigan tomorrow on the 24th. Michigan has had a quote-unquote easy wave route there because they haven't had to play any higher seeds. I will say this. They've looked impressive. The Wolverines have looked impressive. I mean,
Let's
go,
Jordan Poole!
they did face Houston and the 6th seed in the second round, only won by 1 on a buzzer beater.
But this is the same team that is the only team in the country to go into East Lansing and beat Michigan State on their home court.
didn't Ohio State beat Michigan State on their own court?
No, they beat it in Columbus.
Okay.
But Michigan State beat Purdue in the Big Ten tournament by a comfortable score.
And Michigan State, didn't they?
Yes, and Michigan State. Beat Michigan State twice. This Michigan team can play with anyone in the country.
I think Michigan is a team that always seems to catch fire in the tournaments
As of late.
as of late. I mean, both in the Big Ten tournament and now in this tournament. I look at this, and they could be a team that wins it all, just based on who's left. Adam, turn his slide back up. So,
He wants the board to break.
So let's just look at some of these other upsets here. Texas A&M, after our loss to Michigan yesterday, they upset UNC by 21 points in the second round. UNC, one of the favorites to come out and win. I've always kind of said that that UNC really hasn't looked like a championship UNC. I mean,
No.
this year they've got one good player. I mean, one real like superstar player that's going to the NFL. We all assume
The
next year.
NFL.
The NBA, we all assume next year. But this has been a relatively clean bracket in the first couple of rounds. As far, clean sides of the bracket. Not too many upsets. Your biggest one in this would probably definitely be Xavier and Florida State. And with that, we will have to take our first break. You are listening to Further Review right here on Falcon Radio.
Are you interested in a career in sports broadcasting? If so, then the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization is the place for you. This past year, we broadcasted over 130 games. We broadcast football, men's and women's basketball, hockey, baseball, softball, and volleyball. For more information, go to www.bgrso.org. Join the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization today.
Community sponsorship for WBGU programming is brought to you by Grounds for Thought, a local coffee shop offering vintage books, vinyl, comics, and a selection of home-baked goods. Grounds for Thought, located at 174 South Main Street, Bowling Green, Ohio.
My name is Ruth Rusi, and this is how I live United. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Ryan Vallet, play-by-play voice of Bowling Green Falcon Hockey and the social media director of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. And you're listening to the home of BGRSO's coverage of Falcon Sports right here on Falcon Radio.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. And before we get back into March Madness, real quick, if you're tuning in to hear the Bowling Green baseball series against Ohio, I don't know why. They're over on Mixler.com / BGRSO-WFAL. But just in case you are, quick scoring update, 0-0, bottom of the first, 1 out. Here's your batting lineup for the Falcons real quick. Leading off, the shortstop, Neil Lambert, hitting second. The right fielder, Jeff Scott. Brad Croys, the DH, he'll bat third. Randy Ryder, the cleanup hitter at first base. Derek Dravis at second base, batting in the 5-hole. Cam Doherty at third base, he'll bat sixth. Jake Wilson, the center fielder, he'll bat seventh. Justin Mott, the catcher, bats eighth. And rounding out the orders, Ty Sunkin in left field. Zach Carey on the mound today for the Falcons.
We are streaming on YouTube today, so be sure to check us out on there too if you cannot access any
Hey, pull
radio.
Pull it up real quick.
I'm sorry. I'm reading this tweet that says, if you hate country music, then what do you listen to on the beach or when it's 70 degrees outside and you're driving with the windows down? And the person quote tweeted and said, not country music. And then somebody I follow says, I'm offended. So you want me to pull up the YouTube channel? Is that what you just asked?
Yeah, so if you're watching and you have any questions, you can either put them on the live stream's comment section or call in on the number. Adam, why don't you give them the number real quick?
Why?
If you want to call in and give us a few thoughts on the March Madness that has been going on, you can call in at 419-372-9325. That is 419-372-9325.
Nobody said anything. We have one watcher, and it's me. And it's buffering.
Oh, that's you. That's your computer.
How do you
Hey,
know?
Josh, you want to bug us again?
Oh, boy.
Let's not.
Anyway.
Oh, never mind. It is.
Yeah, because...
Anyway, but when we left, we were talking. Yeah, you just left. It's all caught up. So we were talking March Madness. We were talking about the journey that Florida State and Michigan took to get to the Elite Eight and try to claim their ticket into the Final Four. We also discussed Loyola, Chicago, and Kansas State. Now let's look at probably the most not so fun part of this year's tournament, the East.
It'll be fun if Purdue and Villanova win.
It will be fun. As far as upsets are, we've only had one upset. Actually, two upsets. One real big upset. I'm sorry, 3 upsets if you want to count the 3-point victory for Alabama over Virginia Tech. That was a close matchup anyway. I don't really call that one an upset. I mean, by the seedings, it's an upset. But anyway, the biggest upset in this portion would be Marshall over Wichita State in the first round. 13 seed beating the 4 seed by 6 points. That was a big victory there. The Shockers, of course, a team that usually comes out and is typical powerhouse in the tournament.
They've only been a powerhouse for 5 years.
Wichita State's been there for about 20 years, I would say.
But they haven't been a contender until the last 5 years.
But you still expect a little bit more out of than losing to a 13 seed in the first round.
I expect them to lose in the first round every time. I'm
got
still
this-
bitter.
He's salty because they knocked
still
Ohio
bitter.
State out in the Sweet 16 a few years ago.
That was Jared Sullinger's last year. And if he would have been there, Buckeyes should have won. Buckeyes would have a national title in basketball.
No, they wouldn't.
But anyway,
they wouldn't.
With Jared Sullinger and Aaron Kraft?
No.
The other quote-unquote upset here in this one would be Butler in the first round over Arkansas 79 to 62.
Come on.
And then we'll go take a look. Guys, can we please be serious? I'll take a look here.
This show isn't serious.
Tonight we've got Purdue and Texas, the only 2-3.
Texas Tech.
Texas
The Red
Tech.
Raiders.
The Red Raiders, the only 2-3 seed matchup, and the only, this is how this should be, quote-unquote, portion to this tournament with Purdue and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. 9:57 tip-off tonight. Gentlemen, who do we think we got in this one? This is a good matchup, I think. Big 12, Big 10.
Boiler up.
Purdue.
I definitely think the Purdue's got a really good defense, but so did Virginia. And then you got to look at the other Sweet 16 matchup in this bracket. You've got number 1, Villanova, one of the top offenses in the country, playing number 5, West Virginia, a Big East, Big 12 matchup.
Villanova's going to shred them up.
You think
but not
Villanova-
as good as Michigan shredded up A&M's defense last night.
Unfortunately, for some reason, it no longer allows me to pull up
What do
the
you think, Jake?
side-by-side comparison. Here we go. Preview.
Sorry?
Villanova or West Virginia?
Villanova is a heavy favorite according to the match.
I don't
predictor,
know.
The ESPN basketball
The
power
Big
index.
12, I think West Virginia could have a chance here. All depends on how things work out. I'm going to give this one to the Mountaineers, but it's going to be a very close game.
It'll be an interesting game to watch. You take a look at it. Both teams high-flying offense. Villanova has actually a better defensive rank standing as 59.5 points allowed as opposed to 69.5 allowed by West Virginia. I just think honestly Villanova's got such a strong offense that West Virginia is not going to be able to hang with them. Give me the Cats. Right there, like Wildcats, right? And so there are those two matchups for tonight are trying to make it to the Elite Eight.
And then finally, in the local Midwest.
The best Midwest division. Let's go ahead and list.
Well,
off
I guess
some
it's not local; it's in Nebraska, but you know what I mean.
They're going to be. Where are they playing this anyway?
Omaha.
Omaha.
So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the upsets that occurred in this bracket. First,
Thank you, Peyton Manning.
Right.
On behalf of Omaha, thank you, Peyton Manning.
Right. So Syracuse has danced their way through upset after upset to get to play Duke, which then you've got the question, do they have one more in them? Please, that's kind of funny. I don't want to laugh at it. Okay, so they had to upset number 6 TCU. 57-52 was the final score for that. And then Syracuse went out there and beat Michigan State in a low-scoring 55-53 affair. And now they get to match up against a ACC rival, Duke, in this Sweet 16.
Only you, Jake.
Do you think Syracuse has got another upset in them?
Not at this point.
No, I think it's going to be pretty hard
We
for
have
the
two
Orange.
watches now. I think it will. I will say these are the typical kind of games that Duke has the chance of being upset. Now, I said that about the Rhode Island game as well, and Duke went out there and ran over Rhode Island.
It seems like Duke.
87-62.
It seems like Duke. The closer they get to the championship game, the better they play.
That is awesome. That is true. When they lose in the tournament,
It's usually early.
it's usually early. Like I think last year they lost in the round of 32, didn't they?
I think so.
And usually when they get to this point, it's almost like you expect them to win the championship. But I still would be weary of the upset. If not in this round, let's go ahead and take a look at the Clemson Tigers as they storm their way with 2 strong victories. First, an 11-point victory over number 12 seed New Mexico State, and then they clobbered the Auburn Tigers 84-53. A 31-point victory for the Clemson Tigers.
He's going to come in here.
How legit is this team, the Clemson Tigers, do you guys think?
I think they are.
Do you think they're a contender? Do you think
No.
Do you think they peak here against Kansas, who's
Kansas, the Jayhawks are too good for the Tigers.
That's what I say. Clemson is legitimate, but Kansas is too good for them.
Give me Kansas or give me Clemson. The way Clemson has played this year, Clemson has been a really good team throughout. I like Clemson in this game. I think the Jayhawks aren't as good.
Well done.
It'll be a close game. Give me Clemson.
Well, Donovan, as our good friend Adam always says, we're each entitled to our opinion, and my opinion is that your opinion is invalid.
No, it's my opinion is you don't get to have an opinion.
But this is what I said, and this is not originating from me. I have a right to my opinion, and my opinion is you have no right to your opinion.
Scoring update for PGSU baseball. Bottom of the first. Line drive, base hit up the middle for Cam Doherty. That's a 3-spot. 3-1 Falcons.
That was actually a George Carlin. He came up with that. So
to let you know how we got to 3-0, Randy Ryder doubled to score Jeff Scott, and then Derek Dravis, he ground ball to shortstop, and it scored Brad Coy. What?
Croy.
He's a pitcher, isn't he?
He's a fielder and a pitcher.
He's a fielder and a pitcher?
Yeah.
I thought he was just... he's one of our best pitchers, too.
Can I just take a moment to talk about...
Doherty, line drive. Go ahead, sorry.
Can I just take a moment to talk about some Michigan ball real quick?
Sure.
Jordan Poole. I don't know how he made that shot.
No, because it wasn't an easy shot, too. The defense was right there.
He was all up in his face, and he fell on his back making the shot.
You do know when you back away from the mic, they can't hear you, right? And you try to act it out.
YouTube can see me.
YouTube can see you, but
YouTube can't hear you.
He had his back. He fell on his back right after he let it go. That was just crazy. Houston played better than Michigan, I think.
I would agree.
And then last night, 52 points in the first half. I'm sorry, 54, 56 something. 14 of 24 from three-point range. Wow.
Wow.
Just
wow.
Shredding them up. 99 points. I was hoping they would get up to triple digits, but whatever. Still a 27-point victory.
Oh, my.
Who did the backflip?
You saw that too, right?
Yeah, the gentleman or lady, I can't tell.
I
think it's a lady.
I can't tell.
I really can't tell because they're dressed
just walked right past our studio and decided to do a backflip and
right green hood. Did it back anyway. So based off the teams we have left, Michigan, Florida State, Loyola Chicago, Kansas State, Villanova, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Purdue, Kansas, Clemson, Syracuse. Actually, after I listed out all the teams, let's do this. In these two teams left in the Midwest, Kansas State or Loyola Chicago, who makes the Final Four?
Loyola Chicago.
Windy City is going to the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm going to take Loyola Chicago too there. I think they have continued to defy the odds. Florida State or Michigan?
Go Blue.
Unfortunately.
Going to the sixth Final
Yeah,
Four.
give me that team up north.
Going to the sixth Final Four.
Now we have 4 teams left here in the East. So we've got Villanova, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Purdue. Might be a little bit too early to call, but of those 4 teams, who do you like to move on to the Final Four?
I'm sorry.
Say it again.
It's Villanova, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Purdue.
Villanova.
Villanova over who?
Villanova, well, I don't know.
Villanova over Purdue or Texas Tech?
Oh, no, my bad. I meant Purdue.
Oh, you meant Purdue?
We're going to have 2 Big Ten teams in the Final Four this year.
Do they play in the championship?
Oh, wow.
We'll get to that in a second.
Oh.
I really want that.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be a rematch of the Big Ten championship, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Of course you'd want that.
I unfortunately have to take Villanova. But I was wrong earlier. This will be Michigan's 8th Final Four.
I think there is after Virginia lost. I said there was only one team out there left who could beat Villanova because of their defense. That's Purdue. Give me the Boilermakers over Villanova in the Elite Eight.
And before we do anything else, we're going to do the weather real quick. Currently in Bowling Green, Ohio, it's 44 degrees and mostly...
I'm trying to fix my phone by throwing it.
44 degrees and mostly sunny. It'll stay in the low 40s until early tomorrow morning, where it'll drop back down into the high 20s. Sunset tonight at 7:50 a.m. For your Saturday, clouds, high of 41, low of 25. And for your Sunday, partly cloudy, 38 for your high, 29 for your low. And looks like we have some rain in the forecast for
Saturday.
For midweek next week.
Oh.
But either way, that's your forecast here on Falcon Radio.
You're so bitter at Wichita State.
Yes.
I figured you would be better at Kansas.
I'm bitter. Okay, I'm not bitter at Kansas. I'm bitter at the refs that screwed the call.
I haven't seen that game.
So basically, Aaron Crafts was at the line, and he was going to have to intentionally miss the free throw.
For Wichita State?
No, like for Kansas.
Oh, okay.
And it went off the rim, and the ref said he left the free throw line early, which he did not. But the Buckeyes got the ball.
And that was before replay.
That's not a replayable play anyway.
True, because it wouldn't have been a stoppage. Or technically it was a stoppage.
You can't replay...
it would have been a live action event if it had gone on, so you can't replay it. Anyway, and in the Midwest, you've got Kansas, Clemson, Syracuse, and Duke. Who moves on to the Final Four in that one?
Which one? I'm sorry?
Oh, my goodness. Kansas, Clemson, Syracuse, and Duke.
Kansas over Duke.
Wow.
I don't know how you do the
Jayhawk thing.
Yeah.
Give me Clemson over Duke.
Excuse me?
I really like Clemson. They have been really impressive, especially after that Auburn win.
So there's a lot of upsets, and all of a sudden you're calling all the upsets.
What?
There's been a lot of upsets this year, so all of a sudden you're just going to call all the upsets.
No, Clemson has been a very legitimate team in this tournament. They have been more impressive than any other team in this bracket. They have won by more points in both their games, and then I like them. I mean, I really like Clemson to move it on. There's your Tigers. All right, so that'll just about conclude our tournament talk. Anyone else? Any other final words, gentlemen?
ESPN's doing a story. Kyrie Irving, the 11-game career at Duke.
I thought he only had like 2. I know he only had 11. He would have been one and done. I mean, he would have been prep to pro if they had allowed him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you only play 11 games in your career and you still get drafted as the number 1 pick, you would have been prep to pro. Your college career was just a formality, like most of these, or like all these one and done players.
How did he even get into Duke? He's not the smartest man in the world.
Because he can play basketball.
True.
Want to get some spring training scores?
Actually, real quick. Good luck to the Ashland Eagles women's basketball team. Actually, I don't know. Hold off on that, but it's either going to be good season or great season. Sorry to see it end, or good luck.
The Orioles took down the Tampa Bay Rays 6-1 earlier today. That is the only game that is finished at this point. We're going to get into the NFL, by the way, here in a minute.
I know.
I'm just letting the audience know. The audience have 2. The Red Sox have a 3-0 lead at the top of the 8th over the rival Yankees. Of course, the real rivalry takes place in the regular season or the postseason. Both teams could make the postseason now. What do you think about that?
Oh, by the way, ESPN is running this huge story that Aaron Judge is batting leadoff. I don't care. It's spring training. People are substituting. People are experimenting with rosters. who cares if he's batting leadoff in spring training? They're just trying something.
I like your answer to that question, Donovan.
What?
I said you think the Red Sox and Yankees will meet in the postseason again this year.
No.
Red Sox now with a 4-0 lead with 2 outs, top of the 8th over the Yankees. Astros with a 2-0 lead over the Minnesota Twins, who were my World Series pick last year, who led the division for a month and a half. Bottom of the 9th, man on second. Blue Jays have a 5-4 lead on Tampa Bay. Yeah, over Tampa Bay in the middle of the 9th inning. So, and then next we have the Phillies. This game's over. We have the Philadelphia Phillies with the 8-0 lead on the Pirates at the bottom of the 6th with bases empty, 2 outs. 2 more games left. We have Detroit Tigers with a 10-3 lead on the Atlanta Braves, bottom of the 8th, 1 out, bases empty. And finally, end of the 8th, Cardinals with a 5-1 lead over the New York Mets, that other team in New York.
And now I will be able to say this. Good luck to the Ashland University Eagles tonight, as they play for the Division II Women's National Championship game. They're defending their title from last year. They were the number 1 seed. I believe they were undefeated on the year in the regular season. But they'll be playing Central Missouri tonight at 8 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. Go Eagles.
Why would we? I'm clearly missing a piece of the information as why we'd be saying go Eagles as opposed to...
Because Ashland University is in Ohio.
So?
I'm live 20 minutes from them. So I'm
There's
rooting
the
for
piece
them.
of information I would need.
It's Ashland a
But
public
As to why you would care that much.
Is Ashland a public school?
No, it's a private
Okay.
Division II school.
Okay. Otherwise, I would have said we're all
Happy
under the same
Sibs and
system.
Kids Weekend, by the way. It is the weekend in which BGSU gets overrun by a bunch of little kids visiting their college-age students. It's also the least busiest downtown moments where people decide to not go downtown at the middle of the night. on
Let's
the
get into
weekends.
free agency madness while we're at it,
Frenzy.
Why'd you yell that? It's kind of scary.
because we were getting off track.
The Dallas Cowboys have just signed wide receiver Alan Hearns after he was released from the.
Actually, before we get into free agency, let's talk about Michael Bennett.
Michael Bennett, a arrest warrant has just been issued for him. This news that's just starting to come out. It's an event that occurred last year after Super Bowl 51. His brother, Martellus, plays for the
Patriots.
or did play for the Patriots. He after the Patriots won, he wanted to go through this certain door to get onto the field to hug and congratulate his brother. However,
He'd like get into an altercation.
He
with the
refused
Falcons
to.
fan.
He instead then just bursted through the door, shoved over a 66-year-old security attendant, and apparently injured them, which is a 10-year felony plus a $10,000 charge or fine. So that's going on, and so that's just developing that they have officially warranted the arrest for Eagles defensive end Martellus or Michael Bennett. That's a breaking story. As said, Alan Hurts, wide receiver currently with the Jacksonville Jaguars, has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Cowboys. If this thing would load, my free agent tracker here from NFL.com. Also, EJ Gaines, a defensive back for currently the Bills. He was drafted by the Rams when they were back in St. Louis in 2004. He is now signing with the Cleveland Browns. He is another add-in to the Cleveland roster. Let's just talk about the Cleveland roster.
Here we go, Brownies.
Makeup.
Here we go.
Stop that. They have added 11 new players since the beginning of the new year, including 8 free agents and also 4 defensive backs. So they are trying to kind of build that secondary via free agency, I guess. Makes me wonder because what I'm really interested in what they're going to do with that 4th pick, but we'll talk about the draft in a little bit more of a moment. Also, Dante Thompson has signed a contract with how old is this? I'm trying to figure out how up to date this is. I also do know Terrell Pryor. He has signed a contract with the New York Jets after also visiting with the Seahawks. Tremont Williams, a defensive back who used to play for the Cleveland Browns, he has signed back. He's actually signed back with the Green Bay Packers after he originally spent some of his career there. Also, take a look. I already mentioned Hearns. Ross Raquel, he has signed with Carolina, previously with the Giants. He's a defensive back. There's a lot. Jermaine Sirlis, this one is also new. He also has signed with Carolina after being Minnesota. He's a guard. E.J. Manuel has signed with Oakland again after being traded there. He is currently just a reserve for them there. Frank Gore is returning to Miami, where he played his college ball at the University of Miami. And so, or is it Miami University?
Miami University
Is in Ohio.
is in Ohio.
Okay, the University
University
of Miami.
of M is in Miami, Florida.
University.
That's why they're the U.
They do this.
This?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also supposed to look like a hurricane. Because they're the Miami Hurricanes. Do you get it?
How does that look like a hurricane?
You know, like this. I don't know.
That's not supposed to be a hurricane, Donovan.
That's supposed to be a U. The U.
Continue. We haven't had much free agency activity since the seismic a couple of weeks before last week's show.
Sorry? What'd you say?
We haven't had the free agency activity since that seismic couple of weeks before last week's show.
Not really.
No, because basically any high-name free agent will have already signed their contract or already agreed to terms before free agent even began. At this point, it's just people struggling to try to find their team
When does LeBron's contract run out?
this offseason, but that's a different sport. Even though how hard Juju Smith is trying to recruit LeBron to come play for the Steelers, he's not going to be... If he's going to play football, he's going to play it for Cleveland or Dallas. He's not going to play football, though.
Why would he want to play football? Is he going to pull a Michael Jordan?
I have no idea. First of all,
Michael
I
Jordan's
think
a
he'd be
baseball
unstoppable playing football at 6'8".
What if- Time out. What if he becomes the first two professional sport athletes to play basketball and football?
You're right. Nobody's done that.
No one's done that. LeBron? Challenge?
He's not going to do it.
It's one, so he can practice with the Browns and the Cavs. Because I mean, the beginning of football season doesn't really hinder NBA
Well,
season.
football and
but then
basket-
once NBA season starts, he can like split his time, and then he only has to go to one game a week.
Football and basketball are so different, though.
I know, but he's one of the most physically in shape men in the world.
Do you really think he wants to risk that playing football?
Oh no, I know he doesn't.
Especially at this age.
He could be our quarterback.
He would still.
He is the best passer in Cleveland right now, so...
I don't know if he played quarterback in high school. I know he was Mr. Football in Ohio.
I don't know.
I mean, his passing on the basketball court is
You mean Mr.
unrivaled.
Basketball?
No, he was Mr. Football.
No, he wasn't.
He was Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball.
He played football and
He played football for St. Vincent St. Mary's.
He was not. I'm looking at it right now.
He was
not
Mr. Football.
No, he wasn't.
I swear.
2002, Ben Mao. I don't know how you say that. 2003, Ray Williams. 2001, Maurice Claret. Remember him?
Oh yeah, I forgot he was from Youngstown.
Ben Malk. I don't know how you say that name, but there's no LeBron James in the early 2000s for Mr. Football.
You are fake news, Adam. I mean, Jacob.
I know he was Mr. Basketball 3 times, right?
Okay, maybe he was. I swore he was Mr. Football at one point.
Well, you were wrong. All right, so let's talk about... Actually, let's go ahead and take our break here. You're listening to Further Review here on Falcon Radio.
Hey there, I'm Brennan Hall, the Associate Director of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. You're listening to flagship coverage of Bowling Green Athletics right here on Falcon Radio.
On Saturday, March 24th, the BGSU baseball team will face the Ohio Bobcats at 1 p.m. in the second of a 3-game weekend series. Join Donovan Mann for the play-by-play on Mixler.com, your flagship home for BGSU baseball.
Let's take a time out to talk about educational athletics. That means the school sports are an extension of the classroom. Student athletes earn the privilege of participation in sports by succeeding during the school day first, before they put on the team uniform after. Student athletes prove that with better attendance records, higher GPAs, and fewer discipline issues than non-student athletes. That's what it means to be a part of the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Hey there, I'm Brennan Hall, the Associate Director of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. You're listening to flagship coverage of Bowling Green Athletics right here on Falcon Radio.
Hello, and welcome back into further review. I'm Donovan Mann. To my left is
The most mentally stable man in this room.
You don't know, man.
We're all pretty close.
So I've got to my left Jacob Seidel, in front of me, running the board, Adam the Gaw. All right.
That only works with you because your last name is Mann.
Donovan the Man, or just Donovan Mann.
And what are you? What are you?
I have a question. Did the Jets wait? So let's move on to the draft. Did the Jets trade occur before or after our show last week?
I think it was after. Yeah, after.
So then we have a new trade to talk about. The Jets have traded up from the 6th pick overall to the 3rd pick overall in a trade with the Indianapolis Colts. A trade I think was intelligent by the Colts. I mean, they don't need a quarterback. The Jets do, even though the Jets have probably one of the most packed locker rooms for quarterbacks in the league. I mean, let's just go over this list of who they have in that locker room right now for the Jets. They have Josh McCown, Teddy Bridgewater, both on one-year deals, Christian Hackenberg, and Bryce Petty. And both Bryce Petty and Christian Hackenberg, they drafted with the intention of, this is the future of our guy. Just give him a few years. Or the future of our franchise. Just give him a few years. How's that working out?
I feel so bad for Andrew Luck right now.
He's expected to return this season.
I wouldn't return. I would want to get out of there because the GM for Indianapolis is not giving him any help at all.
They can't get him a line. They need to give him a line.
They had the window to do that last year. They drafted one guard in that entire draft last year.
I think this year they have a very good opportunity.
They're not going to take an offensive lineman because they're so stupid.
Why wouldn't they? Do you just think he just doesn't think it'll work, or?
I don't know what they're thinking, but they're not taking any alignment to try to keep Andrew Luck any healthier than what he is right now.
So let's go ahead and...
You talk about wasted careers, kind of like Joe Thomas or Joe Hayden. You know?
Out.
It's true.
Out. So apparently before the Jets tried to make this trade, or made the trade to 3, they apparently actually inquired about the number 1 pick. Of course, they probably were shot down, but they're blocked.
Who tried to trade up number 1?
The Jets. They tried to trade from 6 to 1. You know, I mean, you wouldn't be doing your job as a GM if you didn't ask about it. If you were the Jets.
If they wanted to trade from 6 to 1, how many picks did the Jets have?
I don't even know. I do know the Jets. Let me go ahead.
It would have required at least 5 picks, in my opinion.
It would have traded a lot. Needed a lot.
Maybe a couple of players, too.
The Jets traded...
McCown. Let's get McCown back.
The Jets traded 2 second-rounders for this year and a second-rounder for next year, as well as the 6th pick to the 3 pick and the 6th pick to trade up to 3.
It would have taken that plus at least one more pick and maybe a player.
It would have taken a couple first-rounders to get them to move up to 1. You wouldn't be doing your job as the Jets GM if you didn't inquire about moving up to 1. That's just your job would have been to say, hey, how much would it cost? The Browns probably said, give us your entire future, and so they ended it there. I don't know what the extents of the talk were, but I do know they apparently had tried to get the number 1 pick before landing up to 3. What does this move mean now as far as the rest is the draft concerned? Does this mean that we're going to see another trade up into the top 5 for a QB hungry team?
What it means is that if the Browns want a chance at the quarterback they think is the best, they have to take him number 1 now.
No, they certainly have to take him number 1
There's no debate that they can try to go after Barkley. number one.
Certainly, I don't even know if they're
Not
going to
anymore.
try to pursue Barkley at all now, because I mean, with Carlos Hyde isn't like your flashy running back,
But they
he-
have
Yeah, ball security one. You also have Duke Johnson in the backfield, who can also line up outside as a receiver.
Well, that's my thing about this, because where does Duke Johnson, if they draft Saquon Barkley, fall into the offense now? I mean, of course, you don't want to just have two running backs on your team.
Hyde would be the third man out there.
I don't think so. I think you could get creative with it. And I think Todd Haley would be really good at being creative with it. I just
What I think would happen, I think Duke Johnson would turn
Slot?
into more of like a slot or
a specialty
a
back.
smaller tight end type player.
Specialty.
Tight end.
You could do what the Panthers do occasionally is they run like a not really an option, but it's kind of same setup where they put Cam in the shotgun, Cam Newton in the shotgun, and then normally they will put running back 1, running back 2, and a tight end. So like running back 1 would be to his left, running back 2 would be to his right, tight end would be to his right, and then behind him would be a third running back, kind of like almost like a flex bone kind of setup, but not under the
full
center.
house.
What I would like to
Yeah.
see, I'd like to see more of the full house. Well, I mean,
You
more
could-
like the three backs, the three running back, like the three big burly running backs in
If
the
you-
back under in the shot or under center.
3 big burly running backs to match the big burly dog.
If you
Well, no, like-
sign
If you like, the play sometimes like they have a quarterback under center, and then they've got the three running backs. They fake to two of them and hand off to one, and the other two block.
now you said ball security when you mentioned Saquon Barkley. What do you mean?
Well, I think a lot of times when you bring in a running back out of college and they play in the NFL, the hits are a lot harder in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Well,
it's
people
not
are-
it's not an uncommon. I wouldn't be going out on a limb to say there's a chance that Barkley could have some fumble issues in his first few weeks.
Well, when Barkley went up against Ohio State, what did you see?
I honestly don't remember. I saw him run for a touchdown, and then I had to go do something else.
He didn't have that big of a day. I mean, he kind of struggled in the middle of the season against some of the teams of the Big Ten. Now he tore it up in their bowl. Who did they play in their bowl game again? Was that Oklahoma? No, it wasn't Oklahoma State.
But anyway,
He tore it up in their bowl game.
To finish my point, Carlos Hyde's a veteran back who, even though he hasn't had like most stellar years, he can play.
Well,
in-
the offensive line in San Fran hasn't been as good as the Browns'
Right.
offensive line claims to be.
I mean, if the Browns' offensive line is even better, he's first off not going to get hit as soon, and second off, he's a bigger guy. He can take the hits. He can hold on to the ball as an NFL veteran.
He's definitely an upgrade from Isaiah Crowell as far as the position is concerned. He's not a huge upgrade. With their acquisition, of the
yeah.
defensive backs, that kind of puts in Saquon Barkley, I think, back as an opportunity at 4. But it's
I don't know. I still think it'd be I forgot his name.
Micah Fitzpatrick.
I still think it'd be Fitzpatrick before Barkley at this point, because that's been the Browns' issue the last 2 seasons. They don't have anyone in the back.
I mean,
and they just keep getting injured in the defensive backfield.
I mean, anywhere you look at it, really, I mean, you could slice the orange any way, and the Browns have a lot of opportunity. First of all, you look at any of the quarterbacks at this year that they have the potential to draft, you can complain, but you can't complain too hard about any of them, especially with them acquiring Tyrod Taylor and allowing whoever they draft to sit.
You can complain that they allowed the previous coach to stay.
Yeah,
I wasn't talking
I'm still
about
complaining
that.
about that.
I was talking about just in this draft. You can't. You get Josh Allen. I will complain about his issue with reading the field, his issues with his accuracy, his decision making, all that. But if he can sit for 2+ years and learn, he could hopefully get better, especially under Tyrod Taylor, who's an all right player.
Right.
If he gets Baker Mayfield, is a super accurate person, a little bit shorter. I know he's got his attitude issues and concerns about that. But at the end of the day, you could complain about that, but you can't complain too hard because he shows a lot of potential. He looks a lot like Drew Brees out there, in my opinion, size and all. And then you get
He has a stronger arm than Drew Brees.
And then you look at Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen, both good pocket presence. With Josh Rosen, I know his attitude and his swagger is, quote unquote, is a little bit of a concern with how he carries himself on and off the field. But at the end of the day, you can't deny his pocket ability. And then Sam Darnold, I know he's got his turnover issues, his little bit of mechanics that can be and will be fixed, knowing his work ethic. But, I mean, you can't teach some of the stuff he has, such as his ability to read and, of course, the head on his shoulders that he has.
I honestly think Darnold would be the best quarterback in the locker room for this team. And he'd be a really good presence on the field. I mean, when he was at USC, he running a senior running back was celebrating after scoring a practice in touchdown, and he went up to him and said, "Hey, knock it off. We need to finish our reps."
Can I just say for a second that he looks like he would play like a Trojan in like a historical movie?
Oh, most
like the way he
yeah.
his build, like his face and his hair. It's just like, dude, you look like you would be playing a Trojan.
They're gonna
in a movie.
remake the movie Troy with Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold is the star. I mean, any four of those quarterbacks you could draft, and sure, there's people that are going to complain, but at the end of the day, they all have potential to make it in the NFL, given the right opportunity and chance. Same thing with four. I think the Browns have ruled out, based on reports I've seen, that they're not going to pursue Chubb, the defensive end from. I think they've ruled that out, or at least a lot of media has. But still, Saquon Barkley. A lot of sources have him as the top player in the draft, which is why I think he could actually go 2 to the Giants if they don't trade down.
Right.
But Nika Fitzpatrick, you could even say Denzel Ward. You could make a case for Calvin Ridley, though I think they would trade down because Calvin Ridley is going to fall
And
further.
this would be definitely reaching, but if they wanted to like bolster that offensive line even more and like prepare for
Quentin
an
Nelson?
injury, yes, or also Billy Price, the center out of Ohio State, who's been an All-American.
He could be a second round. He may actually be a second.
He could be a second round pick.
I think
but
if he's
like I said, it would definitely be a reach at 4. That's why when you brought up your trade scenario earlier, so why don't you talk about your trade scenario?
My trade scenario. Okay, so the Bills apparently offered to the Giants. They offered them this trade to try to trade from 12 to 2. Let me see if I can't find it. I do know it involved the number 12 overall pick.
Oh, wow.
They offered the...
This video of Josh Allen's pro day.
Josh
throws
Allen's
it
pro day is today,
from
by
the
the way.
15 down to, I believe, the opposite 40.
Yeah, I mean, there's
and
no
that
denying
was-
his
that-
arm strength,
that-
his raw
look how-
arm strength.
Like, these are very accurate passes, too. Granted, he doesn't have anyone running at him.
That's
but-
why I'm saying on the field, his tape. That is my concern with him. Is on the field, his tape. He kind of looks a little flustered out there. Anyway, here was the proposed trade to 2 from the Bills to the Giants. This is going from 12 to 2. The Giants would receive the number 12 overall pick for this year, the number 22 overall pick, which the Bills also have. They would also give the Giants the number 53 overall pick in the second round, and the number 65 pick overall in the third round, which was given to them by the Browns for the Tyrod Taylor, and also a second round next year. If I'm the Browns and I'm offered that to drop to 12, I would certainly take it in a heartbeat. I would even say you could drop the 2019 second round pick, and I would still accept it in a heartbeat. And in that case, you could get a load of players. Denzel Ward has the chance of falling there. If he's not there, Josh Jackson out of Iowa would certainly be there, help you in your secondary. There's so many other options you could go at there. And of that 22nd overall pick, you could easily get the second, third, or even fourth best receiver in the draft at that position. Or if you're looking at a different running back in this draft, such as Geis out of LSU, he would be there too. So there's a lot of opportunities if you were to trade that down. Also, you could look at the Cardinals, because the Cardinals are a quarterback-needy team. They could trade up, and you get even more from them because they would have to trade up even farther. I believe they are 15th right now in the draft order.
And we're going to have to take a break here in about a minute. But real quick, just a quick update on Bowling Green baseball. Bobcats trail 3-2 in the top of the 4th inning, nobody out. Zach Carey still on the mound after giving up 2 runs in the 2nd inning. So that's, again, if you wanted to listen to that is on Mixler.com/BGRSO-WFAL. So we're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of this break, we'll finish up our NFL talk and move on to other subjects. This is Further Review right here on Falcon Radio.
You can listen to the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization whether you're at home or on the go. There are a variety of ways to listen. First, you can go to bgrso.net to the Listen Live tab for flagship coverage of BGSU volleyball, hockey, and baseball, along with select coverage of football, men's and women's basketball, and men's and women's soccer. Flagship coverage of BGSU Falcon Hockey can be heard on your car radio on 88.1 FM WBGU, online at WBGUFM.com, and on the TuneIn Radio app. For radio shows and other programming, they can also be heard throughout the week on bgrso.net and 88.1 FM WBGU. The Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization, broadcasting more games than any other student-run organization in the country.
Hi, this is Ryan Vallett, play-by-play voice of Bowling Green Falcon Hockey and the social media director of...
Hi, this is Jason Jackson, television host for the Miami Heat, Class of '94 at Bowling Green State University, and you're listening to Bowling Green Radio Sports.
Hi, I'm Jacob Seidel, co-host of Further Review, and you're listening to the Bowling Green Radio Sports Network on Falcon Radio, 88.1 WBGU, HD2, Bowling Green, Ohio.
Community sponsorship for WBGU programming is brought to you by Grounds for Thought, a local coffee shop offering vintage books, vinyl, comics, and a selection of home-baked goods. Grounds for Thought, located at 174 South Main Street, Bowling Green, Ohio.
He's not looking up, so welcome into Further Review. Here, this is Donovan Mann. We've also got Jacob Seidel and Adam Gaud. Jacob is too busy always looking into his phone on this show. So.
Okay, this is sports related, though.
What's that?
Are you trying to find the... He's trying to find the softball score. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my talk, by the way. So if the Bills were to trade up to 4, I think that would almost force the hand of the Broncos, who I think will go quarterback. If they want their quarterback, they would have to trade up to 2, which means the Giants would only trade back to 5, in which the Giants would still be able to get the best available player, and they won't be a quarterback, because in this scenario, quarterbacks would go 1, 2, 3, 4, right down the row. So the Giants wouldn't be losing out that much unless the Giants are going quarterback this year, which is a possibility. It's interesting. With this Jets trade that happened, the Bills have now reacted and are trying to trade up to 2, probably because they fear the Jets are going to take their quarterback. Just any way you slice it, this is going to be a good draft, because this is a very deep draft as well.
Okay, and real quick, because this game just got underway, Falcons and Ball State Cardinals tied at 0 in softball. Top of the first, nobody out. Ball State has a runner on first. Here's how the Falcons line up for softball. First, leading off, the center fielder, Alex Sorgi. Number 2, Peyton Ham, the left fielder, bats second. Aspen Sherrill, the shortstop, bats third. Kaylee Holcomb, the right fielder, bats cleanup. Kaylee Parker, the first baseman, bats fifth. Sarah Gonzalez, the third baseman, bats fifth.
You said bat fifth twice.
Bats sixth. Nikki Sorgi tonight, the designated player, she'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, Logan Everett, the catcher. And rounding out the order, Sammy Dees, the second baseman. And Brooke Parker on the mound tonight for the Falcons in Game 2 after they dropped the first game of the doubleheader today, 9-0 to the Ball State Cardinals.
There you go. You said they dropped 9-0 in the first game of the doubleheader?
9-0.
Of course, you can catch that one on Mixlr.com too.
I don't know what that new one is yet.
I don't know what it is either. I do know how to log into it.
I don't. I need to find out.
I can tell you here in a second.
Because tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you'll have me on the game against Ball State in the rubber match, maybe. Or just trying to get a win in the series.
Or you can catch me at 1:05, as the first pitch will be off at 1:05 as BGSU Baseball continues its series against the Bobcats of Ohio, the defending MAC champion Bobcats, that is.
OU. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We want to get into next.
It's funny because they don't like being called OU, but they have a cheer in their fight song that goes, OU, oh, yeah.
Anyway, so before we move on to the next topic, which I think we need to brush up on the women's basketball tournament going on too. We should have done that after the men's one, but it didn't occur to me till just now, and I saw a Twitter post about UConn. So very quickly, let's just go ahead and do a as it stands right now, top 5 mock draft from each of us. I'll start. I think number 1. I think after his pro day yesterday, Sam Darnold solidified himself as the number 1 overall pick. Browns are finally going to get their quarterback now. Granted, after he will be the 30th starting quarterback since 1999.
After 19 years.
We as Browns fans will finally get it right.
You think the Browns are going to do something big for the 20-year anniversary? Or you think they're going to wait till 25?
They might do something big. They may want to wait till 25 because then the team may actually be
a bit better.
A little bit better. I mean,
they will never be good again.
They are already. I think this roster is already a lot better than last year. On paper, they are already a lot better than last year.
Okay, so anyway,
Darnold goes number 1. Number 2, if the Giants stay there, Quentin Nelson, guard from Notre Dame, Notre Dame. He's the best guard. They need to get some protection in front of Eli Manning. He will go number 2 if the Giants stay there. Number 3, the Jets.
No, Buffalo's 5, aren't they?
No, Buffalo's 12th. Broncos are 5.
Wait, who? I thought someone traded up.
The Jets.
That's right. My bad.
Jets at number 3. They're going to go quarterback. That's why they traded up. I think they're going to take Rosen. I think they like Rosen. I think he is still the best out of the draft, ready to play quarterback. He will be ready to play week 1 if you need him to. His concerns are injury and, of course, his attitude. I think they like him. I think he could be a week 1 starter for them. They will take him, which I think is why Buffalo wants to go up to 2 because I think they want a week 1 start. Anyway, here's where it gets interesting. Browns at 4. I'm gonna say after the acquisition of EJ Gaines, I think the Browns are gonna go ahead and take Saquon Barkley here, the best player in this draft. I think you could do so much with him, Duke Johnson. They're both very versatile. Both can receive and run. I think you can do a lot with him. I think they'll go ahead and take him here. And then at 5, I think the Broncos will take Baker Mayfield because I think John Elway really likes his potential.
My top 5 also has Darnold going number 1 to the Browns. I think he did solidify that, and the only issue a lot of people have with him right now is he is turnover prone. I think he can work on that sitting a year. I think the only way he plays at all this year is if the Browns are up by 5 scores.
Can I say something about his turnover issues? I've gone back and kind of through my brain and what the draft profile too. I think his turnover issues come from his throwing because if you look, because his throwing is a little bit longer and loopier, so he hangs the ball out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that's where that comes from, which again, they can fix that. Sorry, I just wanted to say that because I forgot about that.
Number 2 to the Giants, I have them taking Rosen. Eli Manning's not going to be there for much longer, and I think they want someone to start training. Number 3 to the Jets, I think we're going to have 3 quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3 this year. I think Baker Mayfield is going to go to the Jets. I don't know. He's definitely not going to start. I can tell you that much if he goes to the Jets.
No, he'll probably sit a year behind Bridgewater and McCown.
But I think he makes sense for what the Jets want to do. The only other team I think that want him is the Miami Dolphins. But and then take a look at Browns at 4. I think they are going to take Minka Fitzpatrick. Wow, I need to go to bed.
It can be a tongue tire at times.
I think Fitzpatrick is the second player on the Browns board. I think signing Carlos Hyde, they're not even looking at another running back. So I think Fitzpatrick for built up more defense on the back end is going to be the way to go for them there. And then who's that number 5 again? The Broncos.
The Broncos.
This one's hard. I think Josh Allen goes to the Broncos. I don't think it's who LA wants, but I think it's who he will take if he falls to him. So Josh Allen goes in the top 5. Four quarterbacks go in the top 5, is my opinion here, just because this is a quarterback-heavy year.
Well, this is probably one of the best and deepest draft classes in a very, very long time as far as the quarterback is concerned.
Right. But that's my top 5.
All right, with the first pick of the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select fullback James Hester, Central New Hampshire State.
Are you going to do a serious one?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
We're all consensus on Sam Darnold being first overall. You see, you got to smile at that one.
I need to go to bed, though, so.
We're all
with the first, the Jets take fullback Roger Vick. Oh, no! There's a video on YouTube called Jets Draft Fails. It's like it's like the 5th or 6th saying that the commissioner steps up there. He's like, and with the so-and-so pick and the NFL draft.
87 draft.
And the 87 draft. The New York Jets select fullback. And then you hear somebody in the crowd go, oh, no!
Roger Goodell.
By the way,
the worst commissioner in NFL history.
True.
Free agents update. Quarterback Brock Osweiler has signed with the Miami Dolphins. And
are the Browns still paying him?
I don't think so, no. I think it was only a 2-year deal he got from the Texans.
Good.
We're all consensus on Sam Darnold going number 1.
Yeah, okay. By the way, at the end of 4, BGSU is tied with Ohio 3-3.
Second.
Saw Twitter update.
The New York Giants select No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Defensive end.
Fullbacks go top 5.
Hold on. Go ahead and talk for a minute.
Sorry.
I mean,
okay, so I don't understand. I'm gonna go back and talk about this. Okay, so Brock.
Okay, got it.
Okay, sorry.
With the second pick, the New York Giants select fullback Nick Bodden, San Diego State.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. He had a really good game in his bowl game this last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go in the top 15.
Nobody drafts a fullbacks barely get drafted anyway. Nobody drafts them in the first round anymore. They're becoming obsolete.
It's comedic humor, Donovan.
I know.
I should have said with the 4th pick. That's who I should have said. Bradley Chubb going 2nd overall.
I could see it.
New York Giants. Now that Jason Pierre-Paul is out of there, they're going to replace him with Bradley Chubb. Third, I have now this is a bit of a risk on the New York Jets because they're drafting a quarterback from Southern California, Josh Rosen. I think the New York Jets are going to take him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be pretty radical change for Josh Rosen. He'll have to make some quick adjustments for that. But then again, huh?
I mean, it would be the same thing with Sam Darnold going from sunny Southern Cal to cloudy, freezing. Oh no, it's Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
Even though apparently there is a report that said he wants to be in Cleveland, like that's where he wants to go.
Yes. 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 Yes.
We said that about Mitch Trubisky.
That was because Mitch
Trubisky's from Ohio.
He's from Menor, which is like right outside of Cleveland.
Jacob was saying yes, yes, yes.
I still think he would have done better in the Browns than he did with the Bears. I'm sorry, the Bears.
Yeah, but he wasn't a number 1. He wasn't even a number 2 overall pick.
He was a number 2 overall pick.
I don't know why they trade. I'm still scratching my head over that trade up.
So, okay, fun fact, guys.
It made no sense.
Off topic, but I'm getting really hungry. I'm trying to decide what I want to go get food. I got paid today. Do you want to know how much I got paid? $8.88.
$3.
I worked for 1 hour in 2 weeks.
$3.
And with the 4th selection, the Cleveland Browns select.
You could buy yourself a nice meal with that.
I could.
From Taco Bell.
Ooh, Taco Baco.
Taco Baco.
Anyway, sorry, with the 4th pick overall, I'm assuming it's going to be a fullback.
Quinn Nelson to replace Joe Thomas.
He's a guard, though.
He's the guard, but they'll put somebody in the guard position.
And they'll put someone in the tackle position.
And with the 5th pick, the Broncos take Josh Allen and...
Yep.
And we will go to our think second to last break. So stay tuned. I think we're done with the NFL at this point. We'll go on to the NBA, NHL, NASCAR, etc. You're listening. The Austin.
I will punch you in the face.
The Austin
Such
crew.
violence.
The Austin crew. You are listening to Further Review. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Jacob Seidel, co-host of Further Review, and you're listening to the Bowling Green Radio Sports Network on Falcon Radio, 88.1 WBGU, HD2, Bowling Green, Ohio.
Of course, our kids should eat fresh, healthy foods, but there's no supermarket nearby.
I wish we were closer to good health care because of our son's asthma.
And closer to nice homes, decent schools,
But we have none of these resources.
Many variables can shape children's lives, like the zip code where they grow up. Learn how you can help improve your community at HUD.gov/fair housing. Fair housing, shared opportunity in every community. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Are you interested in a career in sports broadcasting? If so, then the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization is the place for you. This past year, we broadcasted over 130 games. We broadcast football, men's and women's basketball, hockey, baseball, softball, and volleyball. For more information, go to www.bgrso.org. Join the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization today.
Welcome back to Further Review. I missed my last intro, so we're going to bring it in as Donovan had two in a row, and he decides to interrupt well, not interrupt, I guess, but, just add his flavor to it, if you will.
Wait, so Donovan's taking this down to Flavortown?
No.
Fruity.
He's overrated.
We're all overrated.
Fake news.
Except my predictions are underrated, especially in the NCAA tournament.
On this date in 2007, Kobe Bryant joined Wilt Chamberlain as the only other member of the 4 straight 50-point club. He scored in 2016. He had 65 against the Blazers. He had 50 against the Timberwolves on the 18th. March 20th, he had 60 against the Grizzlies, and then he had 23 over the team that drafted him, the that would have been the New Orleans Hornets at 50 with 50.
Speaking of basketball, why don't we talk about some Cavs, because they've been making a lot of traction lately. They're back on.
It's because Tyronn Lue's not on the. No, I'm just kidding. They got Kevin Love back. I think that's the primary thing. They finally got their other All-Star back. I think now they're still. That's the thing. The team is still not fully healthy. Rodney Hood got hurt, and also C.D. Osman's still out. Both of them are expected to return sooner rather than later. And LeBron has been averaging a triple-double over his past 25 games. The fact that people are still saying James Harden leads the MVP race actually angers me a lot. Because if you take LeBron from the Cavs for even 3 games, they lose all 3 of those games. You take James Harden. James Harden did miss multiple games, and their win streak stayed alive. So the fact that people continue to say that James Harden is more valuable, which is the MVP, most valuable player, who is more valuable to their team, and the fact that they continue to say that James Harden is more valuable to his team, or more valuable than LeBron James, angers me a lot. Because he is. And the thing is, it's his 15th season. The dude's 33, and he's continuing to play out there like he's 28. They keep showing his pregame regime, and they showed it on ESPN. They made a little bit of a deal about it. The dude knows how to take care of his body. He could easily, if he wants to, play till he's 40. He won't continue to play at this level, but he could play till he's 40. Anything to add, Jacob?
Not really. Kevin Love's back, and that's helping out a lot.
They're also missing Tristan Thompson. That was another injury I forgot to mention.
Tyronn Lue, we hope you feel better or get better. That's about it. Who's coaching the Cavs now?
Larry Drew.
Larry Drew,
the associate head coaches. Tyronn Lue, if you missed it, he I believe it's heart complications. They're saying, or he said he's been having trouble, been feeling weird with his heart. He stepped back. I think had to step out during one game because he felt ill. That was not the first time he'd done this season. He said, I tried to coach through it. I tried to be out there through it. He's just, I can't. So he is going to miss some time, but he says he does hope to be back, whether it's this season or next season. We don't know.
The only thing I can say is last time the Cavs changed coaches in the middle of the year,
they won the championship.
They won the championship
2 years ago. But let's go ahead and
3.
So to continue on with the Cavs, they do play the Phoenix Suns. The
2016.
No.
Yeah. It was Warriors, Cavs, Warriors, and this year it'll probably be the Rockets. But anyway, actually, I don't really think that. I don't know what I think. So the Phoenix Suns will be coming to Cleveland.
The Cavs aren't getting to the NBA Finals.
I don't think that's true. So the Cavs will be playing the Phoenix Suns tonight in Cleveland, and that's a game where
the Cavs have to win.
I wouldn't say it's certainly not a must win.
It is a must win.
It's a game where
the team they're playing with is a must win.
It's not a must win as far as like standings or anything is concerned. It's a must win for like to say, here, we're actually taking this seriously. In fact, LeBron shouldn't have to play in the fourth quarter in this one. Kevin Love shouldn't have to play in the fourth quarter. You should be putting in the towel boy in the fourth quarter in this one. Because
heck, give me a jersey, I'll go play.
It's a team that's tanking at this point, really. Because, I mean, it's the Phoenix Suns. They're, I think, tied for last place in the NBA right now. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this. The Cavs are on a current 3-game win streak. They beat the Bulls in Chicago on March 17th. Then on the 19th, they beat the Milwaukee Bucks in Cleveland, 124-117. And then a very big morale booster game on the 21st, so Wednesday, 132-129. They had a comeback win against the Raptors in a very high energy game in a packed queue. It was a great game by them.
The Q.
So let's go ahead and take a look at the NBA rankings, shall we? Or shall we not? So, Toronto, Boston, Cleveland. Top 3 teams. Boston is a half game out of the one spot where Toronto sits. But those 3 teams have clinched the playoffs in the East. A game back from Cleveland in the 4th spot will be Philadelphia. And then half a game back from them is Indiana in the 5th spot. In the 6th spot, half a game back from Indiana is Washington. And then 1.5 games back in the 7th spot is Miami. And then the Bucks are a game and a half out of the 7th spot. In the 8th spot, they are in the 8th seed, 15.5 games out of the 1st spot. And so still currently mathematically in the hunt, but not really anymore. Detroit, 21 points out of the 1st spot. They are math. 6.5 games. No, 5.5 games out of the 8th spot is Detroit. And then 6 games out of the 8th spot are the Charlotte Hornets, coming off of a 140-80-something victory over the tanking Memphis Grizzlies. But that was, in that game, I believe, let's see, let's go ahead and talk about this. Kemba Walker.
Roll the tanks out, Memphis. Roll it out.
Which is funny because tomorrow Charlotte's playing the tanking Dallas.
Roll it out.
Anyway, so I believe in that game, Kemba Walker set a franchise record for single points in a game by an NBA player in the Hornets, for the Hornets in franchise history.
Yeah, just like cramp.
He also got his 1,000th career 3. I know.
How many threes does Ray Allen have?
I have no idea.
He's the all-time leader.
He won't be for long. The way Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, both of them are going to be up there by the end of their careers. Also, the night before, so that would be Wednesday night, I also know franchise history and history occurred. Dwight Howard became the first player since Kevin Love back when he was with the Timberwolves to score 32 points, or to score 30 points and 30 rebounds in a single game. That was also the most by any Charlotte Hornet in a single game. I know those 2 little tidbits of record setting. So now we'll go ahead and talk about the West side. Both Houston and Golden State have clinched their divisions. Not that it really matters. Divisions are just formalities at this point in the NBA.
Ray Allen has 2,973.
How many does Steph Curry have? I mean, the 3 ball is such a
2,126.
See, he's going to catch how many? What was the comparison there? 2,000 and what?
2,973
to
2,100.
He'll catch him in 2 years, maybe a little bit less.
Longer.
Yeah, it'll be longer. The 3-ball is such a norm that stat's going to get busted because they didn't used to shoot the 3-ball like they do now. Anyway, so Houston sits at the 1 spot, 4.5 games back is Golden State, and those two are running away with the West. 13.5 games back from Houston is Portland. They are 2.5 games above New Orleans in the 4th seed, who is actually tied for the 4th seed with Oklahoma City. Half a game back from them is San Antonio in the 6th seed, and then Minnesota and Utah are tied for the 7th seed at 17 games back apiece, 41 and 31. Also still in the hunt, 2 games out of the 8th seed is Denver, as well as the LA Clippers are only 2.5 games out of the 8th seed. And then still mathematically in there, and I know his daddy, LeVar Ball, will say the Lakers will conjure up some magic to make the playoffs, but they are 9.5 games out of the 8th seed. But don't worry, because as soon as my son joins the Lakers, they're a playoff team.
I didn't know Steph Curry was from Charlotte.
Yeah. He was born in Akron, but he was raised in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Charlotte Christian, I believe, where he played high school ball. Then he went to Davidson for college.
Yeah.
And
Do you know who else we know went to Davidson?
Who?
Coach Roos.
Okay.
Also the head coach of the Ashland women's basketball team.
Also for Steph Curry, they at Davidson they went and they put a section like Section 30 now has his number in New York Golden State Warriors style. However, they could not retire his number because he never officially graduated. You have to graduate before they can retire your number, which I think is stupid, but it is what it is.
I actually think that's fair.
So if he goes back
and finishes his degree, then they can retire his number. I mean, come on. Cody Zeller finished his career. Finished his degree while he was still playing in the NBA.
Charles Woodson never graduated from Michigan.
I mean,
they can't retire his number.
If they're smart, if the players are smart, they don't need their degree. Because if you're smart and you're saving up your money or you're investing it somewhere else, you're never going to have to get a job after you're done playing, or you'll get a job as an analyst like a lot of players are doing now.
So major and what we're doing.
Yeah. Like that.
I'm honestly surprised more athletes don't major in what we're doing.
Because it's a little bit more work.
Not really.
No, not really. I mean, there's a decent amount of work. But compared to other majors, I mean, other majors are like they don't have any free time. Like if you're an education major or a music
major, a music major,
or a music education major, trust me.
That's even worse.
Dating a music education major, trust me, I know how busy they are.
Oh, you shouted her out.
Hashtag shout out. Okay.
Aww.
So that's your NBA rundown here. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the games that are going to happen tonight in the
I'm just really looking forward to doing it, huh, Jacob?
NBA.
Are we done with NBA?
No, we're just going to go on the rundowns of the games happening tonight. Already mentioned the Suns will be traveling to Cleveland. The Clippers will be traveling to the Pacers in Indianapolis. The Nuggets will be playing the Wizards in Washington, D.C. The Timberwolves will be traveling to New York to play the Knicks. The Nets will be playing the Raptors. The Bucks will play the Bulls in Chicago. And then the Heat will be playing in Oklahoma City in the Thunder with a big three that's finally starting to mesh. The Jazz and the Spurs play in San Antonio. The Celtics and the Trailblazers will be playing tonight in Portland. And then the Hawks will be playing the Wizards in Oracle. And so that is your NBA rundown for the rest of the day.
As our new student undergrad president walks by.
Is that her?
Yep.
Who is she?
She's a tour guide. She's giving a STC tour.
I don't know her name.
I think her name's Hannah.
Hannah. It's a name that's spelled the same backwards and forwards. Hannah. It's a palindrome.
Is that a SpongeBob thing?
No, I just made that up on
That
spot.
sounds like something Patrick would say.
And with that, we're going to take our No, wait, we don't do that here. On
Weather.
I don't know why. We haven't done that for a while. And with that, we're going to take a weather
break.
No, just weather. We're not going to take a break.
We'll take the weather report. This is your weather. Weather brought to you by...
We're on a break.
I got a funny story about that.
Okay, so right now in Bowling Green, Ohio, it's 44 degrees and mostly sunny. Sun will set at 7:50 p.m. tonight, and your temperatures will get back down in the...
Did you say suns as in multiple suns as in an S?
That'd be cool if we had multiple suns.
Mostly sun is...
This is not Tatooine.
It's
Tatooine.
What?
Mostly sunny. Temps will get down back into the high 20s tonight.
Stop.
I actually am doing something I have to do.
Getting a Snapchat?
Yes, that too. Then for your Saturday, they've changed the forecast. It's now going to, for the weekend, it's now going to be mostly cloudy tomorrow, or partly cloudy, I should say, tomorrow. High of 41, low of 25. And for your Sunday, again, mostly or partly cloudy. High of 38, low of 29. Still rain in the forecast for midweek next week, though. So keep an eye out for that. But that is your weather here in Bowling Green, Ohio. Community calendar? Do we have one of those?
No.
We used to.
It's Sibs and Kids weekend. So students out there, don't trample on somebody's little sister or little brother.
And watch out in the Union and other places they can buy food, because they will buy food.
And don't say those words you're not supposed to hear, because they will go and ask their mommies, and their mommies and daddies will get mad.
I feel like there's a story about this I should know.
No, not really. Not really. Not me
You had a
personally.
funny story, Don?
What? Oh, so he said the whole "we were on a break" thing from Friends. So there's a TV show that I've been watching with my significant other that she enjoys that I've started. It's called...
Are you watching Gilmore Girls?
No, Marissa and Joey.
Oh, wait, isn't that the Friends spinoff?
No.
No, that was just called Joey.
I think so. I didn't know there was a Friends spin. Anyway, this is a TV show. It's about these two people. They meet, so whatever. They're raising her niece and nephew after their parents. One runs away and the other gets locked up in prison for a scandal that has... Anyway, that's not the point. The teenage girl, or I guess now she's 20, she had this boyfriend for a long time, but he was about to go off to college in Vermont. Oh, by the way, the show takes place in Toledo, Ohio. He was about to go off to Vermont for arts college, so they decide that they're going to put the relationship on pause, or they're going to take a pause. And throughout the show, they keep saying, it was the pause. We were taking a pause. And I keep saying, part of me feels like they didn't want to say we were taking a break or we were on a break because they knew they were going to get like some social backlash. You just stole the Friends thing. So it just sounds more awkward than they say, it was the pause. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Sorry, that took way longer than it should have.
And
NHL.
Quick look.
Hold on. Can I have one final thought on the NBA?
Oh, sorry,
Yes.
God. If it's okay.
Dan Gilbert's stupid face.
Phones ring up.
Mom. Mom.
I didn't say it.
Oh, what?
Mom.
I said it. I'm sorry. I said it. Jacob
Mom.
didn't say it.
Mom. Mama. Mommy.
Sorry, go give us the NHL instead of texting in your group me.
You know what's funny?
I feel really bad because something went on with my group me and my phone, so I didn't get group me messages. 2 people tried to direct message me from work to cover shifts, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't get these."
Is that your weekly grievance?
No.
Okay. Do you have one?
I don't think so. It's been a good week for me.
Okay, so anyway, quick NHL update. We'll look at your who's making the playoffs right now. Right now, 2 teams in the East have clinched a playoff berth. They're both in the Atlantic, and that is Tampa Bay and Boston. Tampa Bay in first place with 106 points. Boston in second with 100. Toronto holds the 3 seed right now with 95. Then we'll go look at the Metropolitan Division, where Washington, Pittsburgh, and Columbus would meet right now from the would go to the playoffs right now from the East. No one has been clinched from the Metropolitan yet. No one's been eliminated mathematically, although the Islanders and the Rangers are getting pretty close to that as they have both had really bad seasons. And then the teams eliminated from playoff contention from the East: Detroit, Montreal, Ottawa, and Buffalo. Then you'll take a look at the West, where only one team has clinched a playoff berth. That would be Nashville with 106 points. They lead the Central Division, followed by Winnipeg with 98 and Minnesota with 90. And then right behind Minnesota, first team out would be Colorado, the Avalanche with 88 points. And then if you look at the Pacific, Vegas with 100 points, followed by San Jose with 93 and Los Angeles with 89. And then Anaheim right behind them with 88. The teams that have been eliminated from the Western Conference so far from the Central is Chicago, and from the Pacific, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Arizona. Your wild cards right now would be Philadelphia and New Jersey from the East, and then your first two teams out will be Florida and Carolina in the East, and Colorado and Anaheim would be your wild cards from the West, St. Louis and Dallas being the first two out. As it stands right now, Columbus would not play the Penguins in the first round.
Thank goodness.
They would play the Toronto Maple Leafs as it stands right now.
They would still meet them in the second round.
Actually, maybe
if they both won.
Maybe not. As it stands right now,
because they will meet up.
Actually, no, they wouldn't.
And in Game 7, with less than a minute to go.
I don't know. Your other matchups would be Tampa Bay versus New Jersey, Tampa Bay versus New Jersey, Boston versus Philadelphia, then Toronto versus Columbus, and Washington versus Pittsburgh.
Ain't no way Pittsburgh is losing to Washington.
Capitals in the first round.
In the first round?
In the first
Capitals
round.
can never make it past the first round.
No, the Capitals can never make it past the second round.
They didn't even get to the second round last year. Didn't they get
Go to sleep.
No, wait, no. It was the Blackhawks that got they didn't get swept last year, did they?
They got swept in the first round by Nashville, who was the last seed in.
Yeah,
and now Chicago has been eliminated from contention. But
they need to. I think they might need to rebuild. From what I've heard from people who know the organization a little bit well, apparently their farm system is not where it needs to be.
Quick update: bottom of the second inning, Falcons trail 2-0.
This is softball, by the way.
This is softball. Ball State got 2. Falcons do have runners on second and third, 1 out, and then
baseball. Sorry,
you can do baseball.
It is in the middle of the 6th. A 5-4-3 double play allowing Zach Carey to pitch around a leadoff single from Ohio, so it is now still tied at 3 here in Bowling Green, Ohio. And so now I'll go ahead and give you a rundown.
Actually, quick other thing. As you can see, as you all know, Bowling Green did not make the NCAA tournament, but we would like to quickly go over the Frozen Four. I think at least the bracket or the tournament. Only 16 teams make the NCAA hockey tournament, so we'll just take a look at this. The number 1 overall seed, St. Cloud State, will play Air Force tonight at 4 p.m. on ESPNU, and Minnesota State will play Minnesota Duluth. Minnesota State, the at-large bid out of the WCHA, will play Minnesota Duluth on ESPN3 tonight at 7:30. Both those games are being played, I believe, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Ohio State is the number 4 seed overall, but they're number 1 regional seed. They take on Princeton tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. on ESPNU, and then Denver will take on Penn State at 7 p.m. tomorrow on ESPN3. So that we have a potential Big Ten championship rematch there, or not championship rematch, but a Big Ten rematch in the Frozen Four, or in the Elite 8 for hockey. The number 3 overall seed, Cornell, will play Boston University. Oh, and Buckeyes are playing in Allentown, Pennsylvania. That will be in Worcester, Massachusetts. Then Michigan will play Northeastern. And then number 2 overall seed, Notre Dame, will play Michigan Tech, the WCHA champions, in Bridgeport, Connecticut. and then Providence will play Clarkson. 4 Big Ten teams making the NCAA ice hockey tournament this year.
Good.
Yeah, the Big Ten's a pretty good conference for hockeyists.
As it just started 5 years ago.
And you got a lot of Midwestern teams. They like cold ice skating, all that. Apparently, when I moved down to North Carolina, it was pretty weird that I didn't know how to ice skate because I was from Ohio. Everybody was like, "You're from Ohio? You have never ice skated before?" I'm like, just because it's cold doesn't mean we ice skate.
Right.
So now I will give you the MLS rundown table. I mean, we're only 3 to 2 games in here. But let's go ahead and take a look at it.
What's the Austin Crew doing?
The Columbus Crew.
I will throw a shoe at you.
The Columbus Crew are
George Bush style?
Yes.
The Columbus Crew are 2-1-0. They had their first tie or draw against the Philadelphia. What are they? Union?
Yeah, the Union.
Philadelphia Union. So they are second behind the NYFC, the only 3-0 team left to go. They are left in the Eastern Conference right now. They are with 9 points. Then Crew are 2 out with 7. Atlanta is in third with 6 points. Philadelphia 1-1 with 4 points. New York Red Bull in 5th with 3 points, and then 6th is the Montreal Impact with 3 points and a -1 goal differential. The LAFC are 2-0, and they have 6 points. They are tied with the Minnesota Rapids. No, where's Minnesota?
They're just
Minnesota United.
United FC.
They are 2-1 with 6 points, as well as Kansas City and Vancouver, all with 6 points there. But the rest of those teams are 2-1. Houston at 1-1-1. They have 4 points. Dallas with 4 points and 6th place, as well as tied with Real Salt Lake with 4 points as well, who are also 1-1-1. And that is your rundown of what is going on. We're at the point in the MLS season where really only anybody's playing on Saturdays. The weekday games start up a little bit later in the season.
True.
All right. So, that looks like pretty good. Let's go ahead and run.
Major League Lacrosse starts soon.
Do you want to run?
Who cares?
I care.
Jacob, do you want to run down the NCAA women's basketball tournament? Because we should have gotten to that after we did the men's one.
You should do it. I don't have.
I will do it because my phone is.
UConn's winning it again, right?
Probably.
Probably, yes. So tonight we will be having an NC State versus Mississippi State game. That is a 4 seed versus a 1 seed. That is the
MISSISSIPPI.
That is the Kansas City region semifinals. And then you've also got Oregon State versus Baylor in the Lexington region semifinals. UCLA versus Texas in the Kansas City region semifinals. This is the
UConn in the first round. They beat St. Francis 140-52.
Yeah, it was the biggest. It was the biggest victory in.
Do you know what else it was? The biggest showing of unsportsmanship the sport's ever seen.
I mean, yeah. It's called beating a dead horse. Louisville and Stanford will be playing in the Lexington region semifinals tonight as well. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, those are. And that's the Sweet 16 for this, for all y'all wondering. And that's the first rounds of the Sweet 16. Tomorrow will be the other parts of the Sweet 16 where we have number 2, South Carolina Gamecocks versus the MAC number 11, Buffalo. The NCAA Albany region also we will have UConn, the heavy favorites to win the championship as they are every year because they are once again undefeated entering the tournament. They will be playing Duke. Then Notre Dame, another kind of favorite to make it at least, will be playing Texas A&M, a 1-4, and then Oregon will be playing Central Michigan, the other MAC school in the NCAA women's tournament, and 2 made the Sweet 16. 2 11 seeds for the first time in NCAA history in the women's tournament made the Sweet 16, and both very good teams having witnessed MAC schools personally here being a MAC school in PGSU. That is your NCAA women's tournament Sweet 16 matchup setups. Obviously, I mean,
God help
UConn.
Duke.
Yeah, right.
God help Duke.
What is with like how did they get that good? I mean, but that's only like so much.
Well, they had a few good years, and their coach is great, so they just bring in.
So do you think the program collapses when he's retired, or do you think?
I don't think his assistant though.
Well, I don't think it'll collapse, but do you think it'll be as
Oh,
good?
no, definitely not.
The Patriots will collapse when Belichick's gone.
Well, I mean, Army used to win the football championship year in and year out.
Back
before
in World War II.
Yeah, before NCAA.
I mean,
But that's because we were at war.
Yeah.
that's also because they were playing like what? Only Rutgers?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Rutgers, Ohio State.
But
fun fact: the first school to beat Ohio State at the home field, which is also Ohio State's home opener, like at first ever home opener, was the College of Worcester.
Sad.
The College of Worcester is one of Division.
And
III
so we will
football
have to take a break here on further review. This is Donovan Mann, Adam Gall, Jacob Seidel. We'll be back for our last 15 minutes. Yeah.
by the way, Michigan did beat Ohio State in their Ohio Stadium dedication game. Fun fact.
On Sunday, March 25th, the BGSU baseball team will face the Ohio Bobcats at 1 p.m. for the finale of a 3-game weekend series. The Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization will have the play-by-play on Mixler.com, your flagship home for BGSU baseball.
Community sponsorship for WBGU programming is brought to you by Grounds for Thought, a local coffee shop offering vintage books, vinyl, comics, and a selection of home-baked goods. Grounds for Thought, located at 174 South Main Street, Bowling Green, Ohio.
Hi, this is Jason Jackson, television host for the Miami Heat, Class of '94 at Bowling Green State University, and you're listening to Bowling Green Radio Sports.
And we're back here for our final segment of Further Review. Hi, everyone. Jacob Seidel, along with Donovan Mann and Adam Gall, and we're going to move on to Bowling Green Sports.
Certainly, yes. Hold on.
Do we have a track here in the system?
Yeah, we do. We have
Yeah.
track and field.
No.
Forward
yeah,
Falcons,
just search
yeah.
for Forward Falcons.
Don't make it that complicated. Just don't.
All right, fine. Go.
All right. Make sure you load it back to current time. I think I see you are already doing that. All right. So first, we've only got 2 sports, I believe, currently going on. Right? It's basketball or baseball and softball, right? I'm asking you a question, Jacob.
Yes.
Okay. So the baseball team is currently 4-16. That's a 20% record or a 200 record, if for all you wondering. But they are on a 1-game winning streak. They are also 1-0 at home. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Last weekend they were in Ann Arbor to play the Michigan Wolverines in a 3-game weekend series. They lost all of them, blowing a 6-0 lead in the first one, losing 10-7 in the second one, and 5-4 in the third one. They did beat Dayton on Wednesday, though, 5-4 here in their home opener. And then today they are currently playing the Ohio University Bobcats as part of a 3-game weekend series. We're going to go ahead and get you a score update on that as soon as it loads up here. They are currently tied 3-3 at the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. They have runners at second and third. And on at bat is Sydney Lambert.
Not pulling it up, Adam.
You mentioned it. I was just not
Sorry?
on the show. But
I'm sorry. Not Sydney Lambert. Lambert, the shortstop,
Neil Lambert. Neil Lambert.
And they're not related.
They are not.
But Neil Lambert, at bat, he's currently statistically the best hitter on the roster. So if you want to score, this is the guy who's going to get it done. All right. And a reminder that tomorrow I will be on the call on Mixler.com tomorrow, 1:05 start time for that to finish the second game, to start the second game against Ohio. And then on Sunday, 1:05, we'll finish out the series in a potential rubber match or a sweep match for either team. We don't know. And now softball, we're going to take a look at this now. We'll look at the schedule here as soon as it loads up because it is slow.
And I will be on the softball game against Ball State tomorrow at 1 p.m. Make sure you listen to me on our other Mixler account. Follow me on Twitter at JSilo to find it.
All righty.
Shameless plug.
Let me roll here. All right, so they're currently playing a doubleheader. They had a game. They had a doubleheader against Wright State that was supposed to occur on Wednesday. Supposed to occur on Wednesday. That was canceled. So their previous game was a 6-3 win over Lipscomb, and so now they're That was other than this doubleheader. So they're now they lost 9-0 against Ball State in the opener to this doubleheader. Now they're currently playing the second half of a doubleheader. Let me go ahead and get you a score update as soon as it loads. We are currently seeing a 2-0 lead here for the Ball State Cardinals in the top of the third. 2 outs. Ball State has runners at the second and first base.
Third.
First and second.
Oh, my bad. I thought it.
I just listed
I
it
looked
weird.
at it wrong.
Currently at bat is Madam Lee. She has 2 strikes and 1 ball. All right.
Okay.
That runs down your sports.
And
Take
that for data.
Spring soccer will be going on here soon, as well as the spring game for football.
Also, men's soccer today added a new goalkeeper coach, so that's something to look forward to. Also, this came out yesterday. Junior DiMaggio Wiggins has declared for the NBA draft, but he will not be hiring an agent to maintain his NCAA eligibility. So he will work out with NBA teams, but he will, if he decides not to go pro at this time, he can still rejoin the Falcons for next season.
By the way, just an update on baseball. They walked Sidney Lambert, so Jeff Scott is
Neil Lambert.
It's because I'm so used to saying
Yes,
Sidney.
it is. You get used to it, though.
Neil,
I only called Jeremy Specia Tyler once yesterday or the other day.
So Neil Lambert has been walked. He now is on first, so the bases are loaded. Doherty, Wilson, and Lambert. Scott is up to bat.
Okay, now for our favorite segment, the weekly grievance. Who's first?
Goes.
I don't have one.
Jacob.
Okay.
My daily rant is you. There we go. I said it.
This week's weekly grievance is Founders Hall sending me a maintenance request, telling me one of the 3 elevators in Founders is going to be closed for like an hour on the opposite side of the building from me. When there's still going to be 3 elevators open. I can understand sending everyone on the hall a request or telling them, oh, by the way, elevators are going to be closed. All elevators are going to be closed today, so you have to hoof it up the stairs. But no, they sent it on for everyone just because one elevator is going to be down.
I mean, they're required to. It's a public announcement just saying, hey, just so you know, this elevator's going to be down for a short time.
Next. Adam?
I actually did get trapped in one of those elevators.
I hate them.
I don't know
new,
what
too.
happened. They move pretty fast. I don't know what happened because the door closed and it didn't go down. So I had to push my floor button because it wouldn't open with the open button either. I had to push my floor button to get it to open up, and then once it closed, it went. I was like, I'm closed. I'm trapped.
Adam.
I can make your hands clap.
No, you won't, Donovan. You really won't.
Jeff Scott rockets it up the middle with for 2 score. 5-3 Falcons.
Donovan.
Actually, don't know if it was rocketed up the middle. I just assumed because it said 2 base. It was a single. But that
Donovan.
doesn't necessarily mean rocketed up the middle.
You remember one of your roommate issues?
With the trash?
With the toilet?
Oh, yeah.
I've reminded my roommate twice, and he still won't do it.
What?
He still won't flush the toilet.
I hear that ringing still from you hitting the counter and sending the shockwaves up the... It's probably his.
He still won't do it.
Yeah, some people they aren't used to it because their mommies and daddies
Take
did too
the
much for
little
them.
Saul, Saul, let's play a game, and just post it up on the inside of your door, and put let's play a game. If you don't flush the toilet, I'm gonna move everything in front of your bedroom door so you can't leave.
You know what you should do?
If you don't flush the toilet,
you should get hundreds of tiny rubber ducks
and put them all in his room.
You have no idea.
Next time
you
he
guys
leaves-
don't know what I'm referencing. It's a comedian did this bit where he was angering his roommates with rubber ducks.
If you do not flush the toilet, you will have 30 seconds
before the rubber ducks come and get. I don't know. Anyway,
make him watch the video from The Ring.
Yeah.
All right.
Where's VHS?
What?
Where can I get a VHS tape?
There's probably one at the front desk.
Just tape over that.
So, anything else, boys?
Let me go ahead and do draft straight, turn left.
Draft straight, turn left.
All right, so it is Martinsville week. Short track racing, the first short track race of the week here. About a quarter-mile track and located in southern Mississippi, southern Virginia. It's a good track. If you haven't been there, I've been there. It's a nice track, fun to watch.
South Virginia.
South Virginia. Anyway, but we'll go ahead and tell you about last week's race.
There's a difference between Virginia and D.C., Virginia.
I know.
Yes. Let's go ahead and talk about the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500. Correction, the Auto Club 400. I was looking at the wrong thing. Martin Truex Jr., the defending NASCAR champion, walked away with a victory. His first of the season. He also swept all three stages, or swept the 2 stages as well. Kyle Larson gets his best finish of the year at second. Also the best non-restrictor plate track finish by a Chevy. And then third, Kyle Busch in a Toyota. Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano, 2 Penske drivers in Fords, finishing 4th and 5th. Denny Hamlin in 6th in his Toyota, followed by teammate Eric Jones in 7th. Ryan Blaney in the 3rd Penske car. What are you doing?
Jacob's screwing around with the board.
It's weird.
It's not.
So when you hit the talkback button, it doesn't light up the talkback on the board. It lights up the cough button.
Anyway, Ryan Blaney finishes 8th in his Ford. Jimmy Johnson gets his first top 10 finish of the year in 9th. And then Austin Dillon rounds out your top 10.
Can you stop it now?
Sorry.
And so, that is that. Currently, there are no updates going on. Let's see if I can't get you an update. I don't think a practice has occurred for the STP 500 at Martinsville Motor Speedway. I can get you, maybe, possibly. I don't think so, but I can check schedule. Let me go to the race center, actually. I'm sorry. Anything else, gentlemen?
I think we're about done.
Nope, there is no practice.
I think we've hit the bottom of the barrel now.
Congratulations.
Okay. Final thoughts.
Other MLS news.
Zlatlan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah,
leaving Manchester United to come to play for the LA Galaxy.
He's not the only player recently to go from I'm kind of getting to the end of my career, so I'm gonna go MLS.
Oh yeah,
'cause it happened a couple players last year did that too. That's kind of good if you think about it, because if you can get the older guys start, maybe the younger guys will start. Maybe I'll go try MLS. U.S. soccer needs to try to figure out a way to get the MLS more popular, especially with its own fan base, because that'll definitely also help with improving U.S. soccer.
Too bad Zlatlan didn't decide to come to the Crew.
Austin Crew.
And with that, we are going to wrap up 3 minutes early today here, but
more like a minute and a half.
Before we go out, I'd like to send out a few thank yous. First to Ryan Strodbeck, the executive director of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. Until Tuesday, he is. Until Tuesday. Brendan Hall, the associate director, will be the new executive director coming up here. His first meeting, leading his first meeting on Tuesday. So best of luck to you. We'd also like to send out a thank you to Jim Barnes, our chief technical engineer here on Falcon Radio and 88.1 WBGU, as well as Ken Garland, the faculty advisor for Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization, and Dr. Ricky Bucell, chairman of Media Production and Studies Department, as well as the GM of Falcon Radio and 88.1, which who is it now?
I can't think of her name.
Amanda DeLong. So thank you I'd also like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in this week to this glorious train wreck they allow us to sit here and do. And I think that's going to be about it. So for Adam Gaw and Donovan Mann, this is Jacob Seidel saying, we're very sorry. And roll along, BG.
Nick Bod, number 1.
Community sponsorship for WBGU programming is brought to you by Grounds for Thought, a local coffee shop offering vintage books, vinyl, comics, and a selection of home-baked goods. Grounds for